That is Supersuckers and the opening salvo from their new album, Liquor, Women, Drugs, and Killing. And here is Eddie Spaghetti to tell us why rock and roll is not a young man's game anymore. And so we begin by talking about Eddie's old friend, 92-year-old Willie Nelson.
He's amazing. I saw him last year here in San Diego, and I was blown away. I was literally blown away. I could not believe how good it was and how thoroughly I enjoyed it. And it was just, yeah, he was incredible.
So you guys played Farm Aid like what, 95, and then I think did a recording with him. How'd you manage to hook up with him?
Well, we were recording in 95 at a studio that he owned,
Right.
or that he was, I don't know, his relatives owned. Somehow he was involved. And we had met a guy who wound up producing our country record in 97. We met him in 95, and he brought Willie around.
Oh, cool.
And we wound up recording a song of his for a compilation record called Twisted Willie, which was basically a lot of like punk rocky sort of leaning bands covering Willie Nelson songs. And when it came time to promote that record, Willie chose our band to do that with him.
Nice.
Which was such a thrill.
You can't beat that. Did you say it was called Twisting Willie?
Twisted Willie.
Twisted Willie. I was wondering if you guys were doing the twist. Oh, Hank Ballard would have been
It
proud.
would refer to twisting up joints.
I got you. I understand. It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Very good. So now you got this new album coming out beginning of October. Liquor, Women, Drugs, and Killing. Sounds like you got all the bases covered there. How did it get started?
Anything that makes a good movie makes a good song.
Okay. All right. Are you quite the film fanatic?
No, not really. I mean, I like movies, but I'm not like a buff.
Right. All right. All right. So tell me how this started to take form and turn into a record. You got 11 tunes here on the record. When did it become a
like
thing?
all the records, I got tired of playing the songs that we had, so we needed more. I just nobody really is clamoring for the next Supersuckers record. Nobody's like, I can't wait to hear the Supersuckers umpteenth record.
Right.
But we still like to do it, and it gives us a reason to get out there and do the touring. And it's what I do. I make up songs, so that's my lot in life. Unfortunately, I have to do it, so here it is.
And you got one called Meaningful Songs, which I kind of like. Starts out kind of mellow and acoustic and then goes berserk. And he quotes the Big Bopper in the middle of it, which is always a plus.
And your meaningful songs, they just rub me wrong. I'd rather you fuck shit up, get too high, have another bad idea to try, that you go flat, take a chance and snap a dick pic, do some dirty dancing. I'd rather hear how you did it on your own, how you crashed your car, all the people you bone. Now, come on, you got no excuse, don't feel real loose like a long neck goose. Oh, baby, that's what I like.
Yeah, I like that song a lot. I'm really happy with that one. And the whole message of it, meaningful songs can be problematic.
How so? Elaborate, please.
Well, they're first of all, they're prone to be boring.
Okay.
Because it's somebody's pontification about something that really means a lot to them.
Right.
And typically that can be tread on boring. That said, every single one of the songs on our new record is a meaningful song. There's very few songs about nothing or nonsense, which are my favorite kind of songs usually.
Right.
But I just didn't happen to crank very many of those out this time.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I see you got doing work you don't enjoy with people you don't like. Waking up sucks, but you got to make a buck. It kind of sums it all up right there. Do you still feel like a punk at your age now?
Well, I don't know if punk is the right word. I've never really felt like a punk, but I've always felt like an outsider.
Right.
Somebody who doesn't really fit in. I'm not a punk. I'm not a metal guy. I'm not really a good country artist, but I do all these things. It's just, for me, it's just always been about, just making up rock and roll songs.
Cool, cool. And the band seems to have stabilized over the years, to the three of you. What was it like? How do you guys work in the studio these days? Does it come on pretty quick? Is it live in the studio? Is there a lot of messing around, or how does it happen?
There's kind of all of those, all of the above.
All
We do it. We are prone to working very fast in the studio because we don't usually have a lot of money to spend.
yeah,
So we've got it down to a pretty good science. Although this new record, we spent a little more time than we normally would because we actually brought in somebody to produce the band, which we haven't done in, I don't know, a decade.
right. That's Billy
So,
Joe Bowers, is it?
yeah, Billy Joe Bowers. He's been a friend of mine for years, since the 1900s, and he's a great guy, great producer, and got a great ear, and really did a good job on the record.
And you recorded it in Atlanta?
Yeah.
All right. So what does Billy bring to the table and why Atlanta?
Well, Atlanta happened kind of by accident. We were traveling to Europe and we wanted to get this record recorded before we went. So we started looking into studios in Atlanta. And my friend Billy Joe Bowers worked in Atlanta for years. He works with Brendan O'Brien,
Okay.
who had a studio in Atlanta for years and years. And so I called him up asking him about studios in Atlanta, and he was like intrigued by the project and he got involved. So we picked a studio in Atlanta, and then the timeline changed. But by then we got so excited about working with Billy, we just went ahead and kept the studio in Atlanta and worked with Billy anyway. So I'm glad we did. It was really, really great.
Right, right. Yeah, I see you guys toured Europe earlier and you're about to hit the States now. When you go overseas, with the current climate the way it is it any different than it was when you used to do that earlier, in the past couple of decades?
Yeah, everything is worse now.
How so?
It's just, you get hassled, and you got to talk about the fucking asshole president. And I don't do the news anymore. Since he got elected, I'm on a news moratorium.
Okay.
I'm literally the last guy. I don't know anything about what's going on. I just know it's awful,
Right.
and I'm waiting it out until he's gone,
All right.
and then I'll get back on the news.
The old
But
head in the sand attitude.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's the only way to keep happy. I get too invested and I get too miserable about the state of the affairs there, and I just get so angry, and I
Right.
can't live that angry
Right.
for the next 4 years. I can't do it.
Yep, yep, yep. So when you hit the road, when this thing comes out, what kind of people come to see you? What kind of interactions do you have? What does it feel like in the States?
Well, it's the same sort of, the people of impeccable taste, I call them, people who
Okay,
have
sure.
somehow found their way to the Supersuckers. I think that what we do is, because it's so niche, and it's so good. It's just not for everybody.
Right.
People in general don't like quality items. They don't like good food. They don't like good movies. They don't like good music. They don't like
Yep.
good stuff.
Yep.
People, by and large, are idiots, and they don't like what we do. So I can't. I've no longer concern myself with that. It's just, I just continue to do my little thing as good as I can do it, and and the people that come to the shows recognize that.
I hear you. And are there bands or artists that you do admire that aren't and that aren't idiots?
Sure, there's many, many, many of them.
Yeah.
I love a lot of great artists, and in fact, I'm going to go see one tonight. I'm going to go see Scott Byram, who is a really cool, like, Americana sort of one-man band,
Right.
and we're going to go see him tonight. And just the other night, I went to Chicago to go see the Digits play.
Okay.
They did a little reunion thing, and man, I spent so much time with those Digits records in the 1900s. It hit every nostalgic bone for me. It was just wonderful.
Right, right, right. Well, it feels like rock and roll has kind of gone back to being underground and being, almost, like it was in the early 60s when people were just kind of discovering it, and it was for outsiders. Obviously became kind of mainstream in the 70s and 80s, but other
Yeah,
things have
now
replaced it.
rock and roll is becoming like jazz,
Right.
basically. There's still jazz music.
Yep.
People are still making jazz, but who fucking cares about it? A lot of old people. And that's what's happening to rock and roll. It's, all the people that really care about it like I do are my age, and that's advanced. So,
Right. Yep.
it's not a young kid's game anymore, and it's unfortunate.
Yep. And is it the rebellious spirit that keeps you going? Is that what lit the fuse originally for you?
I don't know if it's always just been about the songs for me. It's always
Uh-huh.
just as soon as I could put three chords together on the guitar, I was making up songs. So that's really been the thing for me. It was when our first records came out and they started calling us a punk rock band, I was kind of surprised. I was like, what?
Yeah, right.
I don't even listen to punk rock. I like the Ramones and I like the Sex Pistols record, but that's about as far into punk rock as I go.
Right.
So I was surprised. I hear it now, of course. I hear
Yeah.
that we're kind of punky, but I just like that we distill all these things: a little punk, a little metal, a little country, a little blatant 80s hair metal. That's I like all that sort of stuff in our mix.
And was there a moment, was there a song, was there a record, an artist that made you choose this path?
Yes, and there is. It was My Sharona by the Knack.
Really? I didn't see that one coming.
No. And it came out, I don't know, 79, I guess
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
I was maybe 12 or something like that. And it blew my mind. And from that day on, I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, and have you had a chance to see the Knack and talk, maybe even meet them?
I got a ride from the bass player one time,
Right.
in the 90s. He was working for a label, and then we got Burton Navarre, I think is his name, the guitar player,
Yeah.
to play a solo on a cover that I did.
Oh, nice.
Rona. So that was a cool interaction I had with them.
Nice on. Oh, that's nice. And yeah, because you never know. I mean, something that catches your ear and boom, off you go.
Exactly.
And when did you realize you could write songs?
Well, I always knew that it was something I enjoyed doing. I didn't know that I was any good at it until, I don't know, maybe I was in my 20s by then. I started to feel like I had something a little bit unique that
Right.
wasn't what everybody else was doing, and it was still quality. And I wasn't trying to be so weird. I'm not trying to be this avant-garde outside artist. I want everybody to like my music.
Sure.
They just don't.
Well, it looks like you got a fan there, don't you?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And you have at least one song out already, Volunteer. Do you want to touch on why that's already ahead of the game?
I ain't gonna volunteer. I'm no kind of handyman. I can't be a volunteer. I'm only a helping hand. When your back's against the wall, don't call on me. I'll just drop the ball. I ain't pitching in, so please don't ask me again, 'cause I ain't gonna volunteer.
Volunteer is really fun because it's a song about how I'm not going to volunteer.
Right. Wise move, probably.
Yeah.
These days, you got to kind of keep your head down and just kind of wait for things to blow over, I guess, right?
Exactly. You're gonna ride this storm out.
Yeah. Wasn't there an REO Speedwagon about that?
It's a pretty good one too.
It was actually. They were a pretty good band, and REO 2 is a fine album. I
Gary
highly recommend.
Richrath was a fucking good guitar player.
That is a fact. Highly underrated. They all messed up in the 80s, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
All righty. Very good. Well, hopefully you guys can, find your way down here sometime. We'd love to catch the live act because I have a
We
feeling
love to go
it's got to
down
be
there.
a killer.
We don't get to New Zealand as often as we go to Australia, but
Well,
it's a lovely thing to
It's just
do.
a 2-hour flight. So
I know. Once you're down there, it seems a shame not to go.
if you enjoyed this episode of the 13th Floor's Music Talk series, please be sure to subscribe to the website or to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram and wherever you find your podcasts. There's a whole lot more to discover.